It's 7:40. We got severe storms. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, sponsored by Marco's Pizza. We're going to talk about them in a moment. We first got some severe weather. We want to get to this very moment. When it rains, it pours. How appropriate, because that's what we're seeing in Middlesex County right now. If you're not sure where that is, it's at the top of the screen here. Now, a lot of the counties you see kind of lighter color here is really our television market area. For those of you that might be in this area, that might be very important to you, but you might also be traveling in this area from Essex to King and Queen, Middlesex. Middlesex is technically our viewing area, and this is a storm that's been moving to the east about 40 miles an hour. So we could do a little track on this just to put this in perspective. So just to give you some towns, to give you some ideas. If this is moving at 40, let's put it right about here and drop it there, and it gives us some towns like Stevensville at 748, Bestland at 749, Allen Shop Corner. You can't get more specific than that. Aldrich 754, and Shanghai at 757, Coldwater at 801. This has the potential to produce some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so that's something to keep in mind, and also some, looks like just under 3/4-inch size hail, so a little less than a penny size hail. But these are the storms that are really on the board right now. I want to get your take. I want to get your impression. Maybe you're in this area. Maybe you live in this area. Maybe you're in the military and you have family in this area. This might be of importance to you. I'll come back to it, but I want to check with you because this affects about 10, almost 11,000 people. If you look at this in the perspective that I'm looking at here, what are you looking at? I'm looking at right in here. So there's about 10,787 about so. So that gives you an idea of how many people are being impacted by this individual storm as I speak. Meanwhile, we have a flood watch until 2 a.m. Is it for everybody? No. No, but if you're in the green colored areas like Williamsburg, we're talking maybe York County, James City County, those are the areas until 2 a.m. where they're under a flood watch. This does not and do not expect it to affect Elizabeth City. This will not. I don't expect it to affect Duck or Rodanthe or Hatteras. In fact, you might be hard-pressed to get the rain at all coming to your neighborhood this evening. But the severe thunderstorm watch, which affects the Richmond area, lasts until 10 o'clock tonight. I want to keep an eye on that, and I'll come back here on camera here as we watch these storms begin to approach. I want to say good evening to you once again. If you're just on the call, want to share your comments, I'd like to be able to put it on the screen. I think that makes it a little easier. I can do that with a little bit of ease, hopefully here in just a moment. In fact, I think I might have a comment. Do I have a comment? Somebody might have put something in earlier. Yes. John J says he wants to know, really, what rain? This rain. So sometimes this might have a little bit of age. He wrote this 3 hours ago. So to be fair to John, he hasn't had any rain yet. Some people haven't had any rain. I said it would be more of an evening event, but thank you for mentioning it. Chris, I think Chris puts a very good perspective on this. He says, I was in Wakefield, Virginia yesterday, and we had close to 3 inches in a 2-hour period. So the rain, when it rains, it can pour. Chris understands that. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing that with us. By the way, I'd like to get you some free food. How about that? Could we do that? We have 5 convenient locations here in town. Virginia Beach, 3 of them. Chesapeake, Virginia, Kempsville Road, Greenbrier neighborhood, and Norfolk, where they're participating in the contest. You could go to Marco's virtually anywhere in the country. You could go throughout the Tidewater area or Hampton Roads, but these 5 are special in that they're giving away free pizza and also free food. 50% off is the deal tonight. Pizzoli is a great lunch item, the Magnifico, but the pizza for a year, because I had 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. This is kind of like a half week. So what better way? We're going to give away free pizza for a year. That's 1 large, 1 topping pizza. I'm just going to underline it. 1 large, 1 topping pizza monthly for the next year for free. We've given away dozens and dozens of these so far. Thursday is the day we announce the winners. And this week, because somebody was asking me at work here, they said, hey, what's the deal of the week? 50% off. It doesn't matter if you order salads, wings, maybe you just want a 2-liter Pepsi, whatever you want, just use the promo code WTKR50. I'm circling it here so you have that in the checkout line. You go to marcos.com, and when you get to checkout, put in the promo code. It's better than a coupon. You get everything at the entire Marcos locations at these 5 stores. You can check it out and get 50% off your bill. I'll come back to them in a moment, but I want to get back to the weather because this is what we're dealing with. Most of us are dry. To John's point, what rain? I don't see any rain. When it's this humid, John J. Snyder was like, what rain? He's kind of laughing. He's like, that's hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious now if you're in Middlesex County. I don't think it's hilarious if you're in maybe Richmond. They've been getting pounded with rain. But clearly, this is a location thing. This is kind of like, you think about real estate agents. That's what they preach, right? You got to have the storms overhead. Otherwise, you're scratching your head. It's all or nothing. And when it's this humid, we get all these flash flood warnings in green. We've got several orange polygons. That's the severe thunderstorm warnings that are going on as I speak across parts of the area. It is now 7:45. We have feels like temperature. Ready for this? Feels like 97 right now in Virginia Beach, even though it's actually 89. Well, how do you know it's 89? Because I can see my computer's telling me, right? The 89 is in the white box, but the other number is the feels like. That's the heat index. So if you're in Chesapeake, it feels like 91. But where they might have some rain-cooled air, right now it feels like 98 in Gloucester. That's pretty tough, even at this hour. I mean, it's almost, 7:45. Sun's not down until, what time does it go down? 8:26. So it'll go down at 8:26 tonight, but it is very, very humid. No question about that. Feels like 93 in Moyock. Feels like 86 in other areas. I should say, go back to the screen. It was 86, I believe. The 89 Manio feels like 86 in Moyock, even though it's actually 93. Now, I mentioned, we didn't mention, because I've been gone a couple of days, we had another storm come to life and then faded away. Chantal dropped anywhere 6 to 10 inches, not far from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So it did impact a lot of folks. That means Dexter is the next name on the list. The tropics are quiet now. I'm not here to make any predictions, but I can tell you, based on history, it is usually in that late August, early September timeframe, about September 10th, that we usually get our peak activity somewhere in the Atlantic. Doesn't mean it's knocking on the door in the Outer Banks. Doesn't mean it's happening in Florida at that time. But September 10th historically is the time to take note that that's when tropical storms and hurricanes are usually very, very active. Humid air continues for tomorrow. Highs around 90. Did you know we hit 95 today? So 95, I know it's amazing. You're like, that just seems so far away. It was like 95. It was 4:01 this afternoon. Now, how do I know that? Because I'm a note taker. We hit 95 at Norfolk International at 4:01 today, local time. And we hit 78 for the low at 6:05 a.m. If you can't get below 78 in the morning, there's something wrong. You're like, I got to take my temperature. It's tough, right? It's tough to endure. So keep this in mind. I know that it's not easy, but want to go through these bullet points so that you are better prepared for what's to come. When it rains, it pours. I talked about that being the name or at least the slogan of this particular live stream, because we're going to have storm chances every day this week. You go, oh no, say it isn't so. Damian Hall is on here. I love his comments. He's making me laugh. Jessica Lynn is on here too. I think I've got quite a few comments, so I got to get them on the screen. But as you can see, the weekend outlook, just a few storms. I got us down to 30%. Could you make it lower? I wish I could. Right now, based on the data, both Saturday and Sunday, I'm probably looking at a 30% chance of storm. Now, tomorrow, I got it at an 80% chance. You're like, boo! Yeah, mainly afternoon and evening tomorrow. But those are the variables that are at play, meaning that we've got high humidity. When it rains, it pours. And the other aspect is that, just take into account that we also have, as I populate some of these new comments, we also have heat indices that are pretty close to almost three digits, triple digit heat index. Okay, so now we have the comments. There they come. Took me a while. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of toggling around. That's what takes me a little bit. I got a note here from Justin. Let's see if I can come back on camera. Clear off my telestrator. That would help too. That doesn't take hard to do. But I got a note from Justin Burt. He has a question. He says, will there be any elk coming around from the storms? Not sure what he means by elk, but I can tell you that maybe mosquitoes are running high. I don't know. Bugs. I've seen all sorts of things. Little critters coming around, maybe popping out of the woodwork, as it were. But let's get back to the weather questions. What can I expect this weekend? I'd say temperatures near 90 with a few storms. If you're heading to the beach tomorrow, be flexible. What does that mean? It means that if you're going to the beach, you've been there. You've been caught on the beach and there's a thunderstorm rolling in from the ocean. You're like, I'll just wait it out because the thunder is so far away. 2 to 3 foot heights, low rip current risk, and the low tide 146, that's usually when rip currents tend to come about, right? They're usually more populated around the low tide time, which is just about 1:45 tomorrow. As far as the Virginia Beach ocean temperatures, typically 78 this time of year. July and August, you don't get much warmer than that. Again, these are averages. This is not an absolute thing, but it gives you some guidelines. By the time you get to October and November, it gets a lot cooler. There's no question about that. Now, we are still technically under a level 1 tonight. That means we have isolated severe storms potentially in green. It does not include Elizabeth City. Does not include Duck, does not include Edenton. So much of North Carolina may be exempt from all the drama tonight. The severe weather threat puts damaging winds as a possibility, flooding potential as second. So top of mind would be winds, second would be flooding potential. If you're looking for large hail or tornado formation tonight, I think you'll be disappointed. It's not really top of mind. Tomorrow, however, most everybody, including Elizabeth City, but not Duck, is included under the level 1, and Friday, pretty much, you could almost cut our viewing area in half. It includes part of the Eastern Shore, maybe not Exmoor, but maybe includes other parts like Williamsburg, Franklin, and Hosky for Friday. Got some other notes here. I'm just checking in. We got to look at some of the severe weather. Clearly, there's a lot of activity. If you've got family everywhere and anywhere with our military based here, I see some severe weather popping out in parts of, looks like Nebraska, Nebraska and South Dakota. Some of these popping up until 7:15 Central Time. Severe thunderstorms are popping up in different counties like Bennett, Jackson, Cherry, and so forth. So that's one activity that we could zoom in on. We can also see that we have severe weather going on in Montana at this hour. But let's come back home. Let's go back where all the drama is right now, because some of you might have family outside of Raleigh, because right now it's probably centered just north of Raleigh in Roxborough, where they've been getting pounded with rain. Flash flood warnings for Charlotte County and Halifax till 12:45 in the morning. Alamance, Granville, Orange, Person County till 11:15. Severe thunderstorm warning there, including Durham, Orange County until 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We go back to what we looked at earlier, which was Middlesex County. This also includes King and Queen, Essex, and Richmond. It's moving northeast, or moving east rather, at 40 miles an hour. If you're on the call, say hi to me. I want to say hi to you. Let's see here. Anthony has a comment. Let's see, put Anthony on the screen. He says, Virginia Beach has been melting hot. No rain in 2+ weeks. It's interesting, the expression is that everybody might have a different experience. Some would say they got too much rain for their lawn, for their garden, for their tomatoes, their cucumber plants, what have you. And others like you might say, I haven't had anything. It's kind of missed the metro area completely. Sometimes it's like shuffling the deck of cards, right? You could be at the Vegas table and you're waiting for just the right hand to be dealt. Sometimes it doesn't come, and then you walk away feeling empty-handed. But if you be patient enough, at some point, hang in there, Anthony, it'll come back around. The rain will eventually come to a neighborhood near you. So far for July, we've had only 0.77. Where are you getting this information? From the National Weather Service. So far, we've had 0.77. We averaged 6. It is a very soggy month because of these thunderstorms in the summer. And normally we get about 6.08. So far we've had 0.48 on the 2nd of July and 0.29 on the 3rd of July. We had nothing today as of yet. And this again is based on Norfolk International. This may play right into Anthony's point. It may actually appease what he is saying. We haven't had a whole lot of rain the last couple of days. Some have had more, some have had less. Right now it's 7:54. I got 95 was the high today in Virginia Beach. That's hot. It was 95 in Norfolk. The record high, 100, going back to 1986, back when Ronald Reagan was in the White House, long time ago. But it's interesting because you look at these numbers, 93 Newport News, 93 Hampton, you got to tack on another 8 to 12 degrees in terms of the feels like. Because that's what it feels like when you're outside and maybe you're working construction. Maybe you're just outside trying to go to the pharmacy. Well, I don't know what it is you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but it's been tough. And so these numbers don't always tell the whole story. because when you throw in the heat and humidity, it's been a lot hotter than what you see here. We did have a high of 89 on the 3rd of July. Because the normal high is 89 on that day, that was a near normal day. But technically, we've had 3 above and 5 below. But I would argue because of the heat index, it seems like every day this past couple of days have been tough to take. How about 90-degree days? Technically, we had 1 on April 6th in Norfolk. We had 2 in May. We had 12 in June. And the hottest so far, you ready for this? Is that you have to squint, was 99. Is that 99? Yeah, it's 99. So 99 was the hottest day of the year so far, but we hit 95 today, and it felt like 102. So again, it all is predicated on how long you're outside, what it feels like, and so it goes. As far as the 90-degree day averages, we typically average half the month at 90. So far, we've had 18 days so far this year. I got some other comments. Come back on camera. I also want to mention, if you haven't checked it out, did I mention the deal of the week? This is so fantastic. You could get, it doesn't matter if you want a pizza, a deluxe, you want a Pozzoli, you want a Magnifico, you want whatever they offer, whether it be hot wings or salads, maybe it's a cauliflower crust, gluten-friendly pizza you could have for 50% off. That's better than a coupon. And all you have to do is go to Marcos.com, type in 50. Now, why would you do that? Why would I do that? I say that's why Marcos does it, because they love weather and they want to give back to the community. So if you want to save half off, this just goes through Saturday. It's this week, right? Deal of the week. Check it out, and I encourage you to try out maybe a sample item you haven't even tried. Maybe you say, I want to try the Greek salad. I want to try the hot wings. Whatever it is, Marcos would love to hear from you. And the places to go are these 5 locations, 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, to participate. And we'll be giving away free pizza for a year, certificate away tomorrow, and also some other winners, so I encourage you to stick with me. By the way, it is now 7:56. Let's keep moving. I'm checking the comments too. I'm trying to multitask. It's not always easy. Right now in Carrollton, it's 87 degrees. In Suffolk, it is 88 degrees. And I got a note from J. Aldrich. She wants to know, I believe she says, yes, very dry here. Grass is turning brown. Boo. I don't like brown grass. It's crunchy, and you probably don't have to mow it as much. But she notes in her comment, she says, as I come back on camera here, I'll fly in here. She says, this storm, if it comes here, looks like it will cause some power outages. It is going to weaken. It is showing signs of weakening in the modeling, which I'm going to show you here in moments. I appreciate your patience, JL, but you're right. For those of you that have brown grass, that you've been waiting to get, maybe you've been planting something like cucumbers or cantaloupe, whatever it is you're growing this summer, tomatoes, cucumbers, it's tough. It's naturally tough if Mother Nature doesn't cooperate. And sometimes you get too much too fast. That's also sometimes what ends up happening. As I clear off the telestrator, the temperature feels like right now is 94. So let me go back, right? Right now it's 87 in Norfolk, but right now it feels like it's 94. So it's a 7-degree jump even at almost 8 o'clock. These would be reflective in many cases of the feels like temperature at 8 o'clock. Feels like 97 right now in Newport News. You want to know where the swamp is? Find me a 70-degree dew point. If it's above 70, like Suffolk, Chesapeake, Currituck, Elizabeth City, welcome to the swamp, right? This is the sticky weather. It goes beyond muggy. It goes right to oppressive. It's like, oh, make it stop. And it's not going to likely stop, as we talked about on the very early live streams that I did. I showed that graphic that said 14 and a half average 90-degree days in July. This is the month. This is the month. Last I checked, it's only July 9th. And we had another 90-degree day, so we typically average 15, rounding up, but this is what we have to work through. And so when these dew points are off the chart until they start to dip, and typically they don't do so until August and September, and when football season comes back into play, then we can look forward to that. But this is where the swampy weather continues. It goes all the way up to the Big Apple. I'm looking at here, I'm going over towards 70 here. We got sticky, sticky, sticky. Everything on this side of the ledger is humid, to the capital exclamation point. I mean, Myrtle Beach is 77. Can you get any drier air here? Looks like we don't have any. And my expectation is we're going to find more of the same over the next 5 days. Boo! Can you change that? I can't. I'm just the messenger. I'm doing my best. And if you stick with me, I'm going to show you some cool pictures of my little time off here locally, because I was in North Carolina with the family, as I may have indicated, but I want to show you some cool places I went to. By the way, 70, 75 would put it in the unpleasant category. It's not easy to take when it's this sticky, but that's where things are. Temperatures right now, 88 in Raleigh, 86 degrees in Virginia Beach. We got 90 in Wichita, 117. You can have that. That's a dry heat, my friend. Vegas, 110. Phoenix, they're in the single-digit dew point world. They don't get humid air necessarily, but they get hot. They get hot with an exclamation point, while it's 86 in Tallahassee. But here's some good news. Now, who's going to tell you about July 19th? Raise your hand. I don't know anybody's talking about it. I mentioned it one time during the evening news tonight. I said, by the time we get to July 19th, you see some of these cool yellows? Ooh, I like yellow, especially if it cools us down. Now, keep in mind, we had a very hot June. I had, 12 days, 90 in June. We've had only 3 days so far in July. But might we see, by the time we hit July 19th, the models would suggest some cooler air coming down from the Great Lakes. That may mean we're in the upper 80s. Maybe that's a break. Maybe this could also shave some of those overnight lows to get them out of the mid 70s, maybe the upper 60s. Perhaps we could get a break, and that would be projected here around the 19th of July. So if you're not a fan of the humidity, you're not a fan of the sticky weather, there are some indications that some changes will come down in the next 10 days or so. Temperature trend, this is pretty consistent. Normal high is 90. How do you know that, Aldrich? Because I'm circling it. It's 90 based on the National Weather Service data, and this would put us pretty much near normal for the next 5 days. Doesn't really change. What about the heat index? Pretty consistent, don't you think? If it's around 90, we can tack on 10 degrees, feels like 100, 101. And you say, boo, that's tough, especially if you have to work in it, especially if you work in construction. Maybe you just want to go to the grocery store, trying to get to the pharmacy. Whatever you're trying to do, you'll find that this is very hard to take, so pace yourself. It's now 8:01. 8:01. Chance of rain is pretty high tomorrow. I have us at 80%, 60% chance on Friday, but hey, I'm a nice guy. Not only am I giving you 50% off your Marcos, thanks to Marcos.com, but I'm also dropping your chance of rain to 30% Saturday and Sunday because you live for the weekend. I think most of us do. Hey, that's nice, but then we're going to double it. We're going to go to 60 on Monday. So if you don't get outside this weekend, whose fault is it? Not me, because I want to encourage you to get out and maybe enjoy 50% off your pizza tonight. You can have anything at Marcos.com, half off, if you just use the promo code WTKR50. Pretty sweet, because we had a half a week this week. We got to give away as much as you want to participate. It's there, and it's really, really good. And they're community oriented. Did I mention that? That's what I love about Marcos. All right, so we go back. Rain chances are high. Rain forecast, this is again virtual rain gauges, suggest about a ½ inch to an inch around Eastern Shore, maybe 1.25 now for Eastern Shore. This takes us through Friday, so this would be the higher amount, 0.75 to 8 for South Side, Outer Banks about a ½ inch, and Albemarle about 0.758. So this would give you an idea of how much rain could fall between tonight and Friday night at 11 o'clock. I hope that helps. Trying to be as helpful as I can. Regionally speaking, if you're on the road, chance of rain is going to still be pretty much there through the next couple of days. This takes us through 11 o'clock Friday. What are you looking at? I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at these numbers, and they're pretty comparable, although Roanoke's had more rain tonight. This is future rainfall, suggests about a 1/10 of an inch between now and Friday. Let's get you to the Eastern Shore, and we're going to wrap this up soon. If you're in Saxus, Bloxham, or Nancock, low 80s tomorrow. About 83 for Exmoor. If we head down to the Outer Banks, better chance of rain there in Duck, about 70% there. 81 Duck, 83 Nags Head, which is one of the pictures I want to show you coming up, is from Nags Head. And Manio, 84. If you're in Rodanthe tomorrow, about 83. 83 for Ocracoke and Hatteras. And we talked about the severe weather concerns. Whenever we see these colors, what they mean is just using the word isolated for dark green, you scattered for yellow, and numerous would be orange. And you might say, nobody ever uses orange. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's not as common. And certainly the others maybe not as common, but this really puts it squarely in parts of South Dakota tonight through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for Pierre. And maybe if you're a winner chicken dinner, you're a winner if you go to marcos.com, but there's a town called Winner that's under the numerous threat for tonight. Also back toward Montana, scattered severe storms. Kansas City, maybe even parts of Michigan around Detroit has the potential for isolated severe storms. Coming back home, it covers all of my home state of Delaware, South Jersey, DC, Roanoke, and Charlotte. But really nothing at all expected tonight for the Outer Banks, as it looks like it trails off in a bigger way. But tomorrow, we're all back under level 1. Starting off in the yellow areas like Omaha, maybe into parts of Nebraska, scattered severe storms there. Isolated for Minneapolis, scattered for Charlotte, more active weather tomorrow if you're headed to Raleigh, RDU, Airport, or Columbia, South Carolina. But if you're in upstate New York, they too could have some isolated severe storms during the course of tomorrow. Coming back home, you can see the green areas do not include the Outer Banks, but they do include Elizabeth City, Edenton, and Franklin. What about Friday? Friday's another little equation to figure out. Waterloo, Kansas City could have scattered severe storms. Isolated for Chicago, west of it anyway, Minneapolis and Denver, and up and down the eastern seaboard, looks like north of New York City, up toward New England. Most of North Carolina, at least west of Edenton, has the potential for some severe weather. So here we go. I'm going to pause this for just a second and come back on camera as I'm checking your comments too. I'm trying to multitask. I got a note. Tristan says here, I got a note here from Tristan. Says he's all about Marcos. Hey, check it out. 50% off. It's a great deal. I got a note from Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown says, I'm ready for fall. Hang in there. It will get better. Mr. Brown, I can't emphasize it. It's July, right? And it's Hampton Roads. Some would say, what more do you expect? Now come back on camera. This is where we are supposed to be at 9 o'clock tonight. 9:30, it's still hovering west of Franklin, and it's coming out of buckets. But you notice at 11 o'clock, 11, it never makes it to Duck or Elizabeth City. It looks like it's falling apart. Some of the redness is going bye-bye. At 11 o'clock, 1 a.m. Are you asleep at 1 a.m.? I usually am. Most of us are asleep at 1 a.m. It's now just become remnant showers, never makes it to Duck or the Outer Banks tonight, based on this model. Elizabeth City may not even make it to Virginia Beach because it's weakening. With the setting sun, it's like losing its energy source. It's like turning off the ceiling fan with the light switch. You flip it, and the switch, the fan doesn't stop immediately. It takes a while to slow down. So that's what's happening. These are slowing down. They go poof, they're gone. They're pretty much gone. You can see this in full screen. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and at noon they start to populate again in the places that didn't get the rain, like Duck, like Elizabeth City. Notice at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we shuffle the deck. Suddenly people who didn't get the rain say, I'm getting too much rain in red. It's something you can't win for losing. Sometimes that's the way it goes. There's 11 o'clock Thursday. It's raining hard in Williamsburg, Franklin, and now it's really dried up at 7 a.m. Friday, but we're going to lather, rinse, and repeat. A 60% chance of storms on Friday. So it's just the way it goes. So we're going to populate it in a scattered form on Friday afternoon, and then it too will go away by the time we get to 11 o'clock Friday night. Isn't that nice? It's convenient, but it's not so convenient if you're not a fan of the humidity. I get it. All right, it is now 8:07, 76 south side for an overnight low, 75 peninsulas. Remember, in Norfolk, we didn't get below 78 this morning. So 76 would be a 2-degree improvement over tomorrow morning. High temperatures in Portsmouth, 86. I expect a high about 87 in Elizabeth City, a Hosky 85. If you're in Matthews, high of 84. And if you're in, say, Smithfield, beautiful Smithfield, about 86 degrees. Thursday afternoon, about 89 south side, about 87 peninsulas, and 90 in North Carolina. Here's your first warning. WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 90 on Friday, 91 on Saturday. It's pretty consistent, especially when the fact that the low temperatures don't move much. This is the problem, right? We have all this moisture, in some cases, a lot of rain when it pours. When it rains, it pours. When the high dew points come out, it's like having a car wash sponge get wrung out over your neighborhood. It's not easy to take. I get it. And in some cases, watching that car wash wring out causes flash flooding. And suddenly we have precipitable water that's over 2 inches, and it doesn't take long, doesn't take much before we have a lot of water or standing water, big puddles rainfalls develop in a neighborhood near you. So we want to make sure you're safe and keep an eye on the sky. By the way, as we look at our happy shots, this was a great picture from Donna Dykes. 264 heading towards 64. A little crepuscular rays. It's like the image of God coming through these clouds. Love it. Thank you, Donna, for sharing that beautiful photo with us. By the way, East Beach in Norfolk, a beautiful sunrise from our friend Lisa. She's in our WTKR photographers group on Facebook. Love this picture. And I believe we have one more from Lori. Yes, in Yorktown. Love it. She's even got her logo on there, her little at Lori symbol there. But we've got a beautiful picture here. Thank you, Lori, for sharing that with us. Always appreciate whenever we can get those pictures on. Okay. I'll come back on here. Let's see if I can come back on camera real quick. I'm also going to do, as I reload, I just wanted to share some pictures. Now again, I was off the last couple of days. I mentioned Marco's. We're going to be giving away free pizza on tomorrow, because tomorrow's Thursday. Where did the time go? Free pizza for a year. That's going to be announced tomorrow, so I hope you'll join us. But you don't have to wait till tomorrow to participate in the 50% off online app orders. Go to marcos.com. I think you'll be impressed with what they have to offer. It's just another way to save you some money. I say it's better than a coupon, especially when your entire bill could be cut literally in half. And no, you don't get half a pizza. You get half the bill. You get half the bill of a full pizza just waiting for you. So check it out as I come back on camera here. Let me come back on this screen here. I'm just jumping through my maps here. So I come back on here just to revisit the only severe thunderstorm warning. We had one expire at 8 in Middlesex. So these are in fact weakening, but they are marching toward us, so be prepared for that. All right, come back on camera real quick. I wanted to share, I had a great time off. As I imagine some of you, now I worked on the 4th. I worked on Independence Day, but I wanted to get out and see a cool place. Maybe some of you have been to this place. Maybe you're watching from Tennessee or some other faraway place and you've never been here. Can I just brag about the beauty? And if you're a Star Wars fan, this is kind of reminding me a little bit of Star Wars, like Episode 4, well, New Hope. It looked like Tatooine. I'm talking about this place right here. Ready for this? Jockey's Ridge State Park. Celebrating, I should mention, in Jockey's Ridge. This is in Nags Head. They're celebrating their 50th year at Nags Head, North Carolina. And if you haven't been to Nags Head, let me just brag about some of the cool things. Some blending the habitats. They've got the diverse waters of the Sound. If you also have some great things. They even have dolphins apparently in the Sound. But they've got schools of fish. I saw some crabs while I was there running around. They were scared of me, so they stayed their distance. But it was kind of cool to be able to go to Jockey's Ridge and capture. Some of you are like, oh, I've been there all the time. If you need some orientation, here it is. We were right up here. I'm going to go ahead and circle it. This is Jockey's Ridge, right up on this part of the Outer Banks. And so on your summer vacation with your family, wherever that may be, maybe it's the Great Smoky Mountains, maybe it's the Eastern Shore, maybe it's Virginia Beach, maybe it's the Outer Banks. We've tried to do everything and all of the above and then some. We try to fit 10 pounds of events in a 20-pound bag or so forth as far as where we've been and how far we went in 2 or 3 days. But I love the fact that it does look a lot like Tatooine. You get out there, and if the sand is wet, you have a better chance of parading across. But I got pretty hot and sweaty, and I'll tell you what, my wife and I were like, is there water nearby? We're like, yeah, it's over there, over the hill. But it was so much fun, and I had just a great time. Just wanted to share a couple of those pictures with you. And if you have some thoughts, places that I should visit, I've made an effort, a concerted effort since I've been here to come to a town near you. The neighborhoods I last visited was Elizabeth City. I took 80 pictures. They've been cycling behind me on this other monitor for the last, 35, 40 minutes. But the amazing thing about these towns is that I get to learn more about you and your neighborhoods, whether it be Manteo, Matthews, Exmoor, Franklin, Edenton, Moyock, Smithfield, Poquoson. I'm going to come to a neighborhood near you. Just give me some time. But I want to be able to spotlight your town because every town has something unique about it. And it's just a matter of just discovering it. For me, I love doing this. Is what I love to do. It's called sightseeing, but it gives me a chance to learn the area up close and personal with boots on the ground. So very thankful for all of you. I mentioned a little bit about Let's see, come back on here. Yeah, so being able to visit these 9 towns. Number 10's coming soon. I'll take suggestions. I'm open to suggestions. I kind of know where I want to go, but you might be the deciding factor. You say, hey, go here. I'd love for you to come to my town, whatever that would be. Send me a direct message or leave a comment on these live streams, because I do go back over them in time. Just a reminder, again, we're watching these storms tonight. They don't seem to be severe now as they're approaching Williamsburg. They're losing some of their punch, and that was pretty well telegraphed on the modeling over time. So just to give you a heads up there. Let's see here. Come back on camera. Yep, I just want to say thank you. Don't forget, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or if it's serious. Every day is a gift. Hard to believe, but it's true. Every day is a gift, so please make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here tomorrow. Take care.